Ambasaderi Martin Ngoga uhagarariye uRwanda mu muryango w'abibumbye yabanje kwibutsa bari muri aka kanama karoni gashinzwe umutekano ku isi ko uRwanda rushyigikiye amasezerano y'amahoro aherutse gushyirwaho umukono n'impande zitandukanye hagamijwe gushaka umuti w'ikibazo cy'umutekano muke uvugwa mu burasirazuba bwa Kongo.
U Rwanda rwongeye kwibutsa ko rushyigikiye byimazeyo ubushake bwo kugarura amahoro bukomeje kubaho, cyane cyane amasezerano ya Washington na ya Doha. Kubona amahoro arambye bisaba kwiyemeza no kugira ubushake kandi bwubaka ku mpande zombi. Turashima cyane leta y'Amerika n'iya Katari ndetse n'abayobozi bo mu karere bakomeje kugaragaza ubushake bugaragara muri iki kibazo.
Ambasaderi Ngoga yibukije ko amahoro ya Kongo ari ingenzi cyane ku Rwanda kuko mu gihe uburasirazuba bwa Kongo hari umutekano muke bigira n'ingaruka ku Rwanda. Kuburego bishinja u Rwanda gufasha umutwe wa 23 mu burasirazuba bwa Kongo n'ubwicanyi buvugwa bwakorewe abasivile muri territoire ya Rucuru, yagaragaje ko nta shingiro ifite kuko abakoze raporo irimo ibyo birego nta bimenyetso bifatika bagaragaza, ahubwo bugamiye ku ruhande rumwe.
The report says the investigation.
Raporo ivuga ko ifite amakuru y'iperereza yabonetse kuri satellite no kuri telefone. Ese gutahura ubwoko bw'abantu nabwo byagenzuwe na telefone na satellite? Iyi nama ishobora kugwa mutego w'ingengabitekerezo y'amacakubiri ari mu burasirazuba bwa Kongo.
The situation in the Eastern DRC.
Uhagarariye uRwanda mu muryango w'abibumbye kandi yagaragaje ko u Rwanda rwiteguye gushyigikira iperereza ritabogamye kuri birego kugira ngo ukuri kujya hagaragara. Yanenze cyane raporo yeruka ishami ry'umuryango w'abibumbye rishinzwe uburenganzira bwa muntu, agaragaza ko bitumvikana ukuntu bavuga ko bafite ibimenyetso by'amashusho n'amafoto y'ubwicanyi bwakorewe Rucuru, anagaragaza ubwoko bw'abavugwa muri iyo raporo. Ambasaderi Ngoga yagarutse ku mvugo ikunze gukoreshwa ngo umutwe wa 23 ushyigikiwe n'u Rwanda, abaza bari muri aka kanama impamvu batajya bavuga ko FDLR ishyigikiwe na Repubulika ya Demokarasi ya Kongo.
Is it for lack of evidence that this group is backed by FDLR?
Ese nukuri kumenyetso by'uko FDLR ikorana na leta ya Kongo? Ndabizi ko hano mufite uburyo muhitamo imvugo mukoresha mu kazi kanyu, ariko ntabwo hari imirongo ngenderwaho yo kwemeranya ijambo. Ese mwarabuze ibimenyetso no muri raporo zanyu bwanyu ko leta ya Kinshasa ikorana na FDLR? Kubera iki mutabivuga uko biri?
Why don't you want to present it for what it is?
Ikindi yavuze ko gikwiye kwibazwaho n'ukuntu ile raporo ishinja M23 ubwicanyi bw'abasivile isohotse mu gihe uyu mutwe watangiye ibiganiro na leta ya Kongo muri Qatar. Ibi kandi ngo baragendana n'ibikorwa bya leta ya Kongo byo gutubahiriza agahenge kumvikanyweho n'impande zombi. Iyi nama y'akanama karoni gashinzwe umutekano ku isi yateranye kuri wa gatanu igamije kumenya neza ibikomeje kubera mu burasirazuba bwa Kongo. Ni inama yatumijwe na leta zunze ubumwe za Amerika muri kumenya neza ibikomeje kubera mu burasirazuba bwa Kongo nyuma y'ubwicanyi burutse gukorerwa abasivile muri territoire ya Rucuru mu ntara ya Kivu y'Amajyaruguru.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to start by thanking you for convening this meeting, and I thank the Assistant Secretary General for her presentation, and I thank you all, distinguished delegates, for your statements. Rwanda reiterates its full support to the ongoing peace efforts, especially the Washington and the Doha tracks. Achieving durable peace requires commitment and constructive engagement from all parties. We thank the government of the United States of America, the government of Qatar, and the regional leaders for their tremendous efforts in this regard. In a tangible demonstration of political will, the Rwandan Parliament unanimously ratified the Washington Peace Agreement on the 29th of July 2025. Together, the Washington and Doha processes, alongside the AU-coordinated EAC SADC framework, offer a unique opportunity to address the root causes of the crisis in a result-oriented manner once and for all. The conflict in the DRC directly impacts Rwanda both in security and humanitarian terms. Waves of violence and discrimination have pushed more than 100,000 refugees into Rwanda. Unfortunately, these are not spoken about as they should be. For 3 decades, Rwanda has defended our people against attacks by the Kinshasa-backed FDLR and their affiliates. It is therefore in Rwanda's vital interest to see the DRC peaceful and well governed, the root causes of the conflict resolved, with the durable peace and prosperity achieved. This is why the Washington and the Doha processes are critical. This is also why Rwanda calls on the Council to lend its full support to these efforts and hold all parties equally accountable. Mr. President, today's session is taking place amid grave and utterly unfounded allegations against my country. Rwanda is ready to cooperate with any credible and independent investigation, as we have done in the past, including with the recent facilitation given to the Human Rights Council's fact-finding mission in the region. On the alleged massacre of civilians in Rutshuru, the initial reporting of facts has been contradictory, vague, and in many respects outright implausible. Only an impartial and independent investigation can provide the Council with a reliable set of facts to consider. And this is not undermining the channels of reporting by the UN entities. It is actually to defend the credibility of these entities. Rwanda cautions the Council against the risk of misinformation and disinformation, including by actors who are expected to uphold the highest professional standards. We are particularly concerned by the long-standing pattern of selective reporting of human rights matters in DRC, where victims are painted as perpetrators and vice versa. While there has been overwhelming focus on alleged violations by AFC M23, the United Nations Joint Human Rights Office and other actors have consistently neglected the documented and undisputed atrocities committed against civilians in Minembwe in South Kivu, Nhuro in Masisi, and in Ituri, including drone strikes in civilian areas in violation of international humanitarian law. Arbitrary arrests and mass detentions based on ethnicity, public humiliation, targeting specific communities, and the propagation of dehumanizing speech in schools and places of worship. Distinguished representatives, listening to the statements by some of the delegations in this room, I realize that this organized pattern of disinformation has far-reaching implications than we had even thought. There is now reference in the Security Council room to the ethnicity of the alleged victims. The report says the investigation, the information was given by phone and satellite. Was the verification of ethnicity also established by phone and satellite? The Council is falling in the trap of the ideology of further ethnicizing the situation in the Eastern DRC. Calling for investigation is not too much to ask. Just investigate. Or do the minimum, ask those who did the initial report to do a little more. There is a delegation that said, rightly so, that human beings are not statistics. The way it is being treated, if you end here, then you are treating them as a mere statistics. There is no information before the Council of who are those victims that we are talking about. How did you establish their ethnicity? Those are basic questions that the Council must ask. It is no accident that these campaigns emerge at politically sensitive moments, such as now, when parties are preparing to return to negotiations in Doha and are beginning implementation of the Washington Peace Agreement, including the neutralization of the DRC-backed FDLR. This group remains the principal driver of conflict, violence, and human rights abuses in Eastern DRC. Selectivity undermines the credibility of UN reports and the pursuit of genuine accountability. This issue has been officially raised by Rwanda at this Council and with the Secretary General on multiple times. Rwanda is deeply concerned about the repeated ceasefire violations by DRC forces in recent weeks, including by Wazalendo and DRC-backed FDLR. units operating at the DRC government's direction, as well as credible reports of new military build-ups in Uvira and the other areas. And what this means in terms of DRC's good faith commitment to the peace process. Additionally, DRC and certain countries with historical interests have downplayed or obscured the existence and the dangerous activities of their DRC-backed FDLR. Rwanda-backed AFC M23, in quotes, has been used here extensively. I did not hear a single delegation talk about Kinshasa-backed FDLR. Is it for lack of evidence that this group is backed by Kinshasa government? I know you have a working methodology in the council where you adopt a language. But is there no objective criteria to adopt a language? Do you lack evidence, even within your own reports, that Kinshasa government backs FDLR? Why don't you want to present it for what it is? Let me remind you who FDLR is. They are the people that are remnants of the people that were killing 10,000 people every day in 1994 when you passed the resolution 1912 to withdraw UN forces from Rwanda. They continued to kill 10,000 people on average every day when you passed the resolution 929 to provide safe passage to them when they were fleeing to DRC. Those are the same people that continued to pursue their intent. Forget about their military capabilities. The intent. In the spirit of the 1948 Convention is something that must concern the Security Council. The question of FDLR in statements is treated as a mere afterthought. That is not right. It is central to the problem we have in the DRC, and it must be treated as such. We are also disappointed that the DRC did not agree to launch the concept of operations for neutralizing Kinshasa-backed FDLR at the first meeting of the Joint Security Coordination Mechanism on August 7th, but we remain hopeful that this will be rectified in the next meeting. I wanted to commit, on behalf of my government, that Rwanda will not be found wanting in terms of what we have to do to meet our commitments under Washington Agreement and whatever we have to do to ensure lasting peace in our region, in the Eastern DRC. So before I conclude, just one statement of a general nature. Yes, it is non-negotiable, the territorial integrity of the DRC. So is the territorial integrity of neighbors of DRC, including Rwanda. And the territorial integrity and sovereign obligations of any member country of the UN include fair treatment of citizens. Sovereignty comes along with obligations. The DRC must stop mistreating or treating part of their population as less than citizens. And the Council must take up your obligation to defend that central tenet of the United Nations. All people must be equally protected. The Council must take a posture where every victim and every potential victim is able to catch your eye. I thank you.